Hey there, cool cats and kittens.
Ew.
Welcome back to another episode of Read the Room podcast. As always, this is Merv.
And this is Embria.
We hope you guys liked the last episode about toxic relationships.
Yeah. Hope you learned something. Hope you got a red flag out of it. Hope you cut somebody off. No, I'm just kidding.
No, honestly, I hope you did cut somebody off that is being toxic. Because it was a lot reading about it. So it was a lot to, digest it and then regurgitate it back to y'all. But today we are going to be talking about navigating the corporate space as a first generation Black woman, which we both can attest to.
Yes. And I'm sure if you're not first gen, I'm sure there's stuff that you can
for sure
relate to just as a Black person in the workspace.
Period.
But yes.
So, do you think everybody knows what first gen means? I'm pretty sure, right?
Maybe.
But do we need to?
Okay, we can talk about. Clarify? Okay, so first generation means you're a first generation college student.
Yeah, like your parents didn't go to college.
Yeah.
That's basically
That's
all
what version. That's what first generation.
And of course, y'all know what being a Black woman is. So first generation Black woman, experiencing the corporate world.
Yeah. So the reason I think that we decided to go at this topic from first gen Black woman is because I think that being a first generation student, there's just certain experiences that are new to you that you experience on your own. And even though my older sister went to college, but there's still so much. Culturally, it's very different.
A lot.
And then being Black, it's just a lot.
Right.
So.
And for me, it was difficult because only people in my college that went to, I said college, only people in my family that went to college were my 3 uncles. They're the only ones that had hold degrees. So I was the first woman, period, in my family, in my blood family that got a degree. So I was embarking on a whole new it was just a lot, even from the moment looking into colleges, what do I want to do, where do I want to go, all of that was a lot because no one really had done it. And then my uncles, they were all much older when they did it too, so the experience wasn't the same for them. And one of my uncles, he just don't be talking, so I couldn't get nothing out of him.
The whole doing the FAFSA for the first time, me and my mom, when I tell you we feuded, there was tears, there was it was such a traumatic experience doing FAFSA for the first time. Every single
year though, we had to do it. Same thing. It's bro, we did this last year. What don't you get?
I don't know why it was such a dramatic thing. Also, loans.
Oh my god.
Needing a co-signer for the loans. It's why would I?
I'm stressed.
That was such. Thinking about it, I'm wow, that was a very traumatic time trying to convince my I need you to do this. If you don't, what I'm gonna do? It was.
And then a lot
stressful.
of the nuances they don't even tell. Even with DePaul, living on campus is you have to have the deposit. First of all, you have to have a deposit when you accept the acceptance letter.
And then where you gonna get that money from?
Exactly.
It's a big old chunk of the whole system is we talk about every single thing else is not built for people like us. It's okay, you're accepted into school now. Give me $5,000 tomorrow.
Literally.
And then it's and GoFundMe wasn't around.
Otherwise, we all would have been I just need $500 to secure my spot.
At that point, it was okay, I'm 17, 18 years old.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm doing. Where am I going to get this money? How am I going to, Then all of a sudden, you go from high school, and now you're on the phone with financial aid, these grown people having these super serious conversations about the debt you about to get into. It was just,
it was
a time.
And it sucks being a first generation Black. Like you mentioned, people in our family don't really do this type of thing. Yeah. So being first generation is you have no resources. You don't even have your parents that guide you. The people who are supposed to walk you through life, they haven't gone through it. So it's
they can't, you're learning. You literally, I think about this all the time. Me and my mom were learning together how that process went. I'm it was a lot.
It was very true. No, I really do get those flashbacks. I'm glad I made it out. I'm glad I made it out,
I'm
y'all.
glad I made it through the FAFSA the first year because that was
and every year we had to reset the password because my mom didn't know what the heck
I didn't know either.
Yeah.
Then it's like, oh, how much do you make? And can you find that paperwork from 2 years? It was just a lot.
Yeah. And then FAFSA really do be trying to skim. Bro, my mom makes enough to put a roof over her head. This doesn't mean she's going to be able to cover college.
They're like,
what is you saying?
They're like, oh, so you went to school and you ate every day? She doesn't even need help. she can afford this.
Literally. Literally, that system needs to be refined because they really need to define what our parents' income actually goes to.
Yes.
A lot of our parents, everything they make goes back into the household. Yeah. It's not like people are just have extra money to even do something as important as send people off to college. We can't really ration for that because, bro, we barely making it as it is, you know? We're just getting by.
They assume that you have a surplus of money.
Yeah.
And then they want it.
Basically.
Like, oh, you got $5 extra? Okay, could we have 6? Like, bro, what?
Yeah, so I would really be interested. I wonder if we could find someone one day that works for FAFSA, understands the process, to come on this and really explain to us what their thought process is. Because to me, it is asinine.
I agree. And could we actually also have them come and wipe out my loans?
That's...
because
that's apparently really... word on the street is, you know how like a lot of things were looted in the past few weeks. The reason why they couldn't target Sallie Mae is even if you destroy the computer record, they got a whole backup. So either way, they got
thirsty. Y'all that thirsty.
Paper records. Yeah, they probably got levels of encryption that's probably equivalent to what the bunker that the president goes into to make sure you pay them every single cent.
That is insane to me.
So from a familial perspective, how was being a first generation like black college woman like for you?
It was unique.
Mm-hmm.
I think honestly I could go back even before college and go to just my high school experience. I think that was my first realization of like, whoa, they live different.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is not the same thing. It's like my foundation of knowledge is just different than people who had like parents who went to college or like got their masters, you know.
Right.
It's just completely different. But we also have a level of cultural understanding that other people lack. But when I'm in the classroom and they're talking about something, I'm like, I don't know what that is. Or like, oh, how do you do X, Y, Z? Yep, don't know how to do that. Because that was not my experience.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. I say it was unique. How would you describe it?
I would describe it the same way. I feel like also on top of being like a first generation black woman student, whatever, I'm also a first generation immigrant.
Oh, so
it's levels to this. First of all, my parents understand the college process because it's hard, and then also the English portion of it because some of the language that they use around, especially with the loans and stuff like that, it is not simple English that the everyday person could understand. So for me, even like throughout my whole childhood, they always push education.
Yes,
which I'm pretty sure you can
relate.
That was honestly, I'm my parents' way out. To be
okay, I was just gonna say that was how education was framed as like, okay, here's how you can like switch up the trajectory of, you know, the family and our legacy and all that stuff. It's like your ticket is your education, so use your smarts. Like, I think about over time, there were things that I wanted to do that my dad was like, I was like, I want to be a lovable, like I want to be a dancer on the Bulls. He's like, you know, like anything that revolved around like my looks and didn't pay that much. He's like, why would you do that if you're smart?
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah, so they always push education, and like you mentioned, even when I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do, bro, I'm not gonna be a doctor. That's not in me. I don't like that type of stuff. I'm not gonna be an engineer because I wanted to go. First of all, I wanted to go to fashion school.
Can we talk about
that? Didn't happen.
Did I want to be a dancer or no? Did my parents also want me to be an engineer?
Yeah. I'm just like that. I wonder if that's kind of like steeped in respectability politics.
Tell me.
Our parents wanting us to go through these like business person, doctor, lawyer,
I think
engineer.
So. I think so. It speaks to like your prestige as a black person. Like, like I gave birth to an exceptional black person.
Do you know my daughter the lawyer?
Yeah.
Versus, do you know my daughter the dancer? They probably not gonna tell motherfuckers the dancer.
They like, she figuring it out. I feel like there are undoubtedly several ways to make money.
Yeah.
But there are some that provide a clearer path. They're like, okay, if you just go to law school and do this, then you'll make money. If you just go be a doctor. Mind you, my parents did not want me to be a lawyer. But that's a whole nother discussion. Like, okay, same thing. If you hoop, you definitely gonna make money. If you go. Yeah. So I think that there's other ways. Like, oh, yeah, you could get rich off doing X, Y, and Z. But it might take you a long time. And it's not certain whether you will even make money. They want to know.
They want a receipt, a guarantee.
Yes, I invested into you, and now go make some money and bring it back.
And I hate that. Because I feel like it robs us. Like, you wanted to be an dancer, I wanted to be the fashion girls. It didn't work out. And business school was a lot.
We were both.
I was depressed the whole time. I remember calling my mom sophomore year. I was like, bro, I want to drop out. And she's like, no, just quit your job. I need the money to survive. What are you talking? That's not what I said. Because she thought like working was, adding too much. I'm like, no, girl, school. Yeah, that's the problem.
School was the extra thing. Like that's how it always felt. I felt like, okay, I'm working several jobs. I'm dancing. Oh yeah, and I gotta do school on the side.
Yeah.
Okay, we were definitely on the same page as that. It's funny. A couple months ago, my dad was like, "You could dance now." I'm like, well, thank you.
like, bro, I'm 26. What is you talking about?
Like, I'm beyond the point where dance as a career is, like, super duper realistic. But, like, thank you for your support now. But it just kind of spoke to the concept of, like, okay, go get your degree, get settled, make money, and then go pursue your, artistic dreams on the side thereafter. Which... It's not necessarily wrong, but you think about what their perspective is. It's different. There's people whose parents are rich and they're like, go be an artist. My daughter, she's studying art alongside the whatever in Europe, but we could be those kinds of parents. I mean, that would be the goal.
That's the parent that I want to be. Like, I don't want to force school on my kids if it's not for them.
Yes.
Because I will be pressed if I send my kid to college and he drops or it fails out. Because that's not what they wanted to do. I'm not going to be that type of parent. But we are going to have a plan. Now, if we don't have no plan, we're going to have to go to school. But there's going to be, there's alternate methods to reaching success. And I wish our parents knew that. And sometimes I'm kind of envious of kids who have that type of support and that financial standing that they can like go off and do their thing and just really, really be happy in what they're doing. For example, this girl, she's a shoe designer. Do you know Kendall Miles?
No.
Well, I think she went to HF, but I found out about her. I found out about her through Michael Lynch.
Okay.
But her parents sent her off to Italy to learn how to make shoes.
Oh my god!
And then now she has like this bomb ass shoe line. I still want some boots. I'm planning on some boots, and they're like really good. They're featured in magazines. Rihanna wore her stuff. It's just like that was your dream. That's what I wanted. I would have loved to be in somebody's like atelier in freaking Paris or something like that, learning how to do all this stuff, and then actually put that into reality. I would have loved that. Yeah. But no, instead I was in accounting 101 pressed, trying to get my B. I was so pressed in that class.
But then this brings us here. We have a podcast now. Yeah. Now that we're older and we have jobs, we're like, okay, well, I need to be creative. Yes. Let's start a podcast. It's funny that you mentioned the envy thing because I feel the exact same way. I remember I was talking to this dude in the past, and his new chick was like, and Bria's jealous. She had told people, I'm jealous, blah, blah, blah. And I literally told somebody, the only people I'm jealous of are dancers. Like, you are not doing nothing. You're not dancing for Beyonce, so baby, I'm not jealous of you. I would have loved. Like, I wanted to go to a dance high school. I wanted to go and when I was in college in New York, I was considering a dance minor, but then I got to DePaul and they didn't have a dance program. So it was just like,
Right.
But here we are.
Hey, blessed and highly favored nonetheless.
Right. It's working. Like, now we can turn back to that.
Yeah.
But it would have been nice
to kind of be on that path. I feel like we're more emotion driven than our parents.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I enjoy stability.
Yeah.
But I want to be doing the things that
make you happy and you want to do. Yeah. Yes, undoubtedly.
Parents, they don't understand that because they just know, like, you got to make some money. We got to pay the bills.
No, somebody had told me, I was like, tell me about myself. And he was like, you did everything that you were supposed to do. You checked off all the boxes, but you still don't feel like super fulfilled in every single thing. And don't get me wrong, I'd be happy, but like, there's so many more things that I want to do that now I have the opportunity to. So it's time to start. But that's...
I am blessed to be in a position I am. Like you said, we can pursue these creative endeavors. I've always been the fashion girls, even though I didn't go to fashion school. Ever since 2015 when I launched my blog, it's always been my thing. And then now I got my business. So and I'm only afforded that opportunity because of the job that I work, which my degree afforded me the opportunity.
Okay, see, so let's bring it back. That's a great point. Who wants to, like, we make money. That's
really the best way to put it.
We have careers and we have flexibility. So it's like our parents weren't wrong in being like, hey, chase the bag and chase everything else secondarily. But it would have been nice for them to be on both trains the entire time instead of waiting until you get to this point. But look, to each
honestly, truly to each their own.
But yeah, here we are.
Needless to say, being a first generation student, I think it really shaped me to be super like responsible.
Tell me.
Because I had so much pressure on me.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? I had no choice but to succeed.
Yeah.
To finish school, to do whatever, you know. Like you mentioned, I checked all the boxes. Besides my mom's superficial boxes of being married and having a kid, I checked every other single box. Yeah. So now I'm just kind of at the point where I'm like living my life, trying to figure out where I want to take my career and things like that. Mm-hmm. So everything is now 100% in my control.
Yes.
Before it was in my parents, they literally would not sign the loan papers if I did not become a business major. That was our main ground.
Deep.
And I thank them for that because I was going to be a sociology major, and I took one social class and I was like, no, thank you.
See, okay,
so they were kind of on the right track.
They mean well, and this is not any complaint about like my upbringing. I'm grateful for my upbringing. Like,
same.
Love my parents, all of that. It's just you learn.